Mikwaldam aki ta idamungnau ta lintoungnau panok spiwi ubanaki akitsiai ta spiwi sonkipozit idit ibita ni kizi matsi bana saga in wawaldaman bana. Remember the land and the stories and the songs. Connect the Abenaki people to our ancestors and to our future generations. In this way, we can only die if we forget. A poem from Nisnol, Siboal, Two Rivers, by Joseph and Jesse Bruchag. And I talk about this remembering and the land, and remembering that we cannot own land. We cannot possess land. We can be possessed by the land. And talk about remembering. And I want you to remember when you wake up, and I remember every day when I wake up, what has been lost. And it's not gone. It's just been taken away. We've been deprived. And what we've been deprived of. And before my feet even touch the floor every morning, I remember that I am waking up into a world that is a hellscape created by the dominant culture. That I am not waking up and hearing the pounding of corn. I am not waking up and hearing the songs of my mother and my aunts and my grandmother as they start to prepare our breakfast and tend to the children. That when I wake up, I am not going to step onto fertile earth. I'm going to step onto some manufactured artificial garbage that is poisonous to pretty much everything around it. You're going to wake up right into it. And we are blinded by the fact that we are consumed and overwhelmed by this garbage from the dominant culture that they brought to us. Remember now, when you wake up, remember, our grandparents, our families, all of our lives have been shortened by a third. We've lost a third of our lives. We used to live to be much longer. Much longer. 1/3 of our lives has been robbed, and so the children and the grandparents have been severed. The families have been severed. So let's just start with that. Our losses here. That our lives have been shortened, and thus we're not getting the passed on knowledge and the time that's spent with our loved ones. Right there in the beginning. So you wake up and that's not there. You're waking up in a world that's full of toxins. The earth has been poisoned. You're going to walk on the earth and it doesn't look anything like it used to look. It's not healthy. There's not food everywhere. It was our birthright. It was our gift from our Creator that we would have land to live on and food to eat so long as we respected it and took care of it in a mutual relationship. That we were to tend to the animals and the land and make sure that everything was healthy and wholesome. And so now the land is poisoned, the water is poisoned, and this is what you're waking up to. Your body, the air is poisoned. So your body, made of the land, the water, the air, and spirit, poisoned. Your mind has been poisoned. These toxins are all around us. You're born into it now. You're swimming in it. You can't even see past it. That you should not have to have a job. You should have never had to pay rent. You should have never had to pay property taxes. You shouldn't even own property. And so all this is taken from you, and no one's even aware of it because they live in the modern premise of this is the way things are, when it is not. These things were given to us and left to us by our Creator. And it's all abused now and being destroyed because we aren't honoring our relationship. And so these are some losses right there. The family, the home, the food. Your families had to work. Your parents have to work. Now it's, both parents have to work. And you throw your children to the state to raise them. Why is the state raising the children? Why do you send your children to their schools? They didn't stop boarding schools because it was the right thing to do. They stopped boarding schools because the boarding schools met their objective. They broke the families. And they went to the next cycle of their objective. It didn't get better. It meant that they were moving forward with their plan of destruction of us, our people, our spirit, our souls. Destroyed. They're destroying us and consuming us. And then you send your children to a state school, a state education, and these things further sever the family, they destroy the indigenous mind. If you buy into the education system, to what they teach you, and I fought it, and I went through university, I've got way too much school. I don't even need it. But I kept thinking that I could mediate and learn and figure out why these people do what they do. And the truth is, those schools are not going to teach you how to be whole and how to be healthy. In fact, they're destroying people, destroying human beings. So those are some losses right there. The stress that you had to grow up with, that your parents off doing other things, has nothing to do with the family, has nothing to do with the development of the child. Your children shouldn't even leave the mother's side or the aunts and grandmothers until they're 12. They should be right there with them. Our food has been stolen and destroyed. The health of the land has been destroyed. The air, the water. It's all destroyed now, and it needs to recover. It needs to recover. And we can't make it recover, and there's nothing we're going to do to make that happen. It's what we need to stop doing. We need to stop doing damage. The earth will recover if we give it the space and we just help it along. We're not going to make it happen. I've been thinking a lot about the losses lately, especially in juxtaposed to the gifts that I have, being able to live freely on my land, my ancestral lands, unbothered. My neighbors don't bother me. They're far away and they're nice. All these things have been stolen from us, and so much more. The minds of our people have been stolen and contaminated. You need to return to the original instructions. If you're on the side of the government's not on your side. I don't consider myself an American. I'm not an American. Americans came here. They tried to co-opt me, and they didn't. They've co-opted everything. Well, I'm watching the sun rise this morning again. It's a beautiful day. I have to get some chores done and just finish my morning prayers. And, you should wake up mad every day, and that should be your driving force. As much as you are happy and thankful for everything, you should be driven to destroy this dominant culture. You must destroy the dominant culture. And they must be destroyed inside of us, inside of ourselves. That's where you attack them. Not on the outside. Attack them in you, where you have the most power, the most strength to destroy these things and end them. They've colonized your heart, your mind. You don't think the same. We don't feel the same. We need to fight and resist the colonizers. You are the refuge of your ancestors. You are the sacred within you. You need to fight to defend that, tooth and nail. You need to reject their laws, reject their leadership, reject them. Do not interact with the government. They're terrible. People say, oh, well, it's a democracy. It's not a democracy. And even the educational systems have determined it is not a democracy. So why would you vote if it's not a democracy? That's like saying I'm going to walk on the water or I'm going to swim in the earth. That's not how you behave on the land. You don't swim on the land. You walk on it. And if you're not in a democracy, why would you vote? You need to reject them. You need to reject them and pull together with your people. Disobey. Do not go along with their laws. Do not go along with their ways. Reject them and return to the original ways. Decolonize yourself. I had a lot to say, but about losses, there's just so many. but you have a right to be mad. Everything that is good in the world has been destroyed by the dominant culture, by these white devils. They've stolen so much that you don't even know what you've lost. You've lost so much. The earth is lost, has suffered. These animals are relationships. They all suffer. The animals are our relations. And we have said that for thousands of years. And now science says that, genetically they're identical. We knew that. The relations are suffering. The fish cannot live in the waters that they're in. They're being killed. The birds are being killed in the skies. The animals on the land have been wiped out. It is the most horrible, horrific scene, and it's straight out of a Christian hell. It comes right out of their Bible. Look at what they've created around you. Look at what they've created. I will not. These Christians, they are not indigenous. And if you're a praying Indian and you've gone into Christianity, you have abandoned your ancestors. And if you're supporting the enemy government, you've abandoned your ancestors. You support the military, yet you look at Standing Rock, which side of the military on? They're against you. You can't support the people that are against you. The police, same thing. They're not our friends. They're not there to even protect their own people. They're there to ensure that a small, dominant class of rich, predominantly white devils keep their dominance over everything and destroy your right, your born right to the world around you and to live the way that you're supposed to live. So, if you think that the dominant culture and that the people around you are going to change their ways voluntarily, do you really believe that? That they're going to turn voluntarily and help the earth and start behaving? Do you think they will voluntarily do that? They will not. They will not do it by volunteering it. You need force. I'm not a pacifist. I will not sit idly by while people slaughter my family, slaughter my relations, and destroy our ways. And it's been going on for so long now. If people don't wake up, it's all over. It's all over. Squander the gifts that were given to us. So, that's plenty long enough. That's all I'm going to have to say about this today. Adios, Kiyomo. Goodbye, all of you. Kizi Adozimunzimak. Time for me to go now.